I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, August the 24th, where we had lower fat cattle trade, the finish up of it on Thursday there, right ahead of the cattle on feed report. People a little bit nervous about it. It shows to be bearish, but that's the opportunity to be bullish is when it is. So I think more often than not, whenever everybody's expecting a bearish report, you're surprised with things being pretty friendly than the otherwise. So you look at your cattle on feed report projections, the on feed numbers. August the 1st pegged at 104.4 for the average of the analyst guess. Placements 105.5 and marketings during July at 104.9. We'll see what happens on Friday afternoon. Let's look at the board for Thursday, October. Live cattle down 17 cents at 108.72. August spot live cattle down 27 cents at 107.95, and that's in there pretty tight where quite a few cattle traded on Thursday. October feeder cattle up 17 cents at 148.80. Spot August feeders up 32 cents at 149.02. Your fat cattle trade, we had quite a bit of trade on Wednesday. 54,200 head in the 5 area feeding region, ranging from 108 all the way to 110, with a weighted average price on that big slug so far for the week at 109.22. Your dress trade from 172 to 174, and a weighted average on dress steers at 172.94. Then we had more trade on Thursday. Your Southern Plains finally broke loose there late in the morning at 109, which is $1.50 lower than the bulk of the trade last week in the Southern Plains, but had many trades in both Texas and Kansas. In the Northern Plains, we had quite a trade spread there from 108 to 109.5. A lot of that 108 was in Iowa, was in northeast Nebraska, over there where they treat them like stepchildren, and it's hard for them to get up there with the mainstream of the market. But a lot of those cattle up in that area bringing 108, going all the way to southwest Kansas for slaughtering. And you know, and then we had some cattle in Nebraska selling now at a premium to what the Southern Plains has. Try to figure that out. The Southern Plains has been more current through the bulk of this heavy market ready supply numbers, and several weeks ago the Northern Plains kind of got behind on a week where there wasn't a whole lot of dress trade, and now all of a sudden you know, the Northern Plains has been kind of running behind, trying to get trade started because they need to stay cleaned up. And now all of a sudden they're selling at a premium to the Southern Plains, where and then you go over into the edges that run a little bit behind in the edge of Iowa, northeast Nebraska, places like that. They're paying 108 for cattle and then spending another $2 or $3 or more to get them to southwest Kansas where they need to go. Hard to figure out. You guys make sense of that. Call me collect. But that 108 to 109.5, 50 cents to $1 lower. Dress trade, not too bad. Actually steady to $1 higher than the bulk of the sales last week, from 173 to 174 in the Northern Plains. And Colorado trading mostly all at 109.5, which was just $1 lower. So, you know, kind of a mixed bag of trading there if you've kind of been keeping up with what's been going on. Box beef cutout values on Thursday afternoon, they're holding up there pretty good, but that's kind of a new high there on choice cuts. 214.37, that's the highest it's been for quite some time, pretty much all summer, up 33 cents compared to Wednesday's close. And your select cuts 203.99, up just 2 cents with a choice select spread of $10.38. Your slaughter, everybody was putting out fear-mongering tactics this week that you know, a lot of places were going to be dark and closed and cleaner cooling. You know, you can clean those coolers when you're not making over 200 bucks a head. But they may have shut things down for a little bit, but they've sped them up in other places. But so far through Thursday, 470,000. That's just 4,000 less than last week, which was a huge week, and 1,000 less than the same week a year ago. Your actual information on slaughter for the week ending August the 11th, 881 pounds on a dressed steer, which is just 1 pound more than the previous week's report, but 1 pound less than the year ago figures and the 5-year average. Your feeder cattle markets, your real-time index on Beef Market Central, late in the day on Thursday sitting at 150.33, down just 41 cents, but still holding up there pretty good. Some of your bigger on-site sales, your regular high volume markets, Pratt, Kansas, 2,400 head there. Your feeder steers were pretty much steady. Now they had a lot more fleshy offerings, which that means that there were more backgrounded cattle in there, and there was kind of a lower undertone there, but that's, you can kind of figure that out with quality and condition. But some of your 9-weight steers were as much as $3 higher, so anywhere from steady to $3 higher on your feeder steers. Feeder heifers fully steady, but look at an individual quote out of Pratt there. 53 head of steers in that 9-weight category that I noted was so strong, weighed 922 pounds at 152.85. That's well over your index levels for an 800 pounder on some weighing nearly 9 1/4. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock, Salina, Kansas. Good run there. You can see the report, the only one available on Cattle Market Central at 2,600 head there. And your well-tested feeder markets were lower, 2 to 3, maybe 4 at the most lower. But remember what that sale they had last week, where they had all those farmer feeders coming down, and it was just a bonfire there last week. So if they're a pinch lower, not a big deal. But you look at that report there and you see also an increase on your weighted average change on your 9-weight. So you know, there's something to that 9-weight deal with better demand on those, but a little bit pinch lower on some 8 and 7-weight cattle. But look at the steers, your best column there was 807 head of 8-weight steers, average 828 pounds at 149.36. And on the heifers, nearly 500 head of heifers, average 755 pounds on your 7-weight heifers there at 140.44 on the weighted average. That's just 55 cents lower than last week. Hey guys, I'm looking for all ways to find market information. I appreciate the guys that send it to me. Got a jillion friends out there telling me kind of what's going on. I welcome all that information. I love it. But look at some markets that are not on Cattle Market Central. We would love to have them. But Valentine, Nebraska, Matt Lowry sent me this picture here, and he was telling me how hot the market was up there. And I tell you what, guys, these good auctioneers, they're not only good at selling cattle, they're ambassadors for your sale barn. And if you've got somebody that's just kind of lackluster and he's not promoting your market and you got him behind the mic, find somebody better, because there's good auctioneers out there that know everybody, that are promoting their sale barn and helping get cattle in there, helping get buyers in there, and getting a big price for them. But you look at Valentine, 70 head of 740-pound steers at 180.75. Now think where Valentine's at. It's way up there in the northwest corner. That's not in your main line in your valley feedlots there. But you know, they've got the guys up there. They've got places near there, some farmer feeders, and I would suspect that's who bought those cattle. But my goodness, that is just so much higher than anywhere else. It's hard to believe. Another one of those auctioneers like I talked about, another world champion, Brian Curlis, sent me some information out of Fairview, Illinois. I don't recommend his penmanship, but I do appreciate the information. But I'll take it in any form I can get it. But you look there on this card that he sent me, included in there in Fairview, Illinois, guys, 60 head of 832-pound steers, 161. That's your feeder flash for Friday.